All right, this is Woody out here at Wendell's shop because he's got a lift and his barn's heated more than mine. So I'm gonna show you what we have. Got the car out here, got it on the lift. We're changing out all the suspension and I'm putting air ride on it. So I'm going Ridetech tubular A arms, rear control arms and everything. Their Shockwave front, airbag system, and then their airbags in the rear. Going to use the AccuAir E-level control system and that tank. So I got most of all that stuff here now. I've ordered all the brakes, so while it's all apart and up in the air, we're going to change all that stuff at one time. So like I said, we're just got out here, it's a little chilly. I'm going to show you around. As you can tell, there's no doors on this car. We decided to do a whole lot of everything at once. So remember in the initial video I said that it didn't have any door handles on it, and I was going to fix that, so I bought some used doors that had all the parts and everything. So I took the doors off. I actually have them at work, and I'm gonna do that stuff while I'm up there, and we're gonna do all the suspension stuff while I'm here at Wendell's. So there's all the boxes. I opened everything up. I'm still missing the rear sway bar. Everything else is here. That's the AccuAir and the E-level setup. So we're going to do some videos as we're going along. I've watched pretty much every video on the airbag E-level setup. So hopefully it works out. So I'm going to get started. All right, so this is Woody. Got the Impala up in the air out here at Wendell's. He had kind of looked it over a couple days ago after I brought it out. He kind of started loosening up some stuff, but I didn't have any of the parts or anything over here, so he didn't get too carried away. So keep in mind, I paint cars. He's not here to supervise me just quite yet, so I'm actually starting at the top. So I'm going to take this link off and replace it with the Ridetech one, and I'm just going to start working my way down. Like I said, it's getting airbags, so pretty much all the lower controlling arms are leaving with new, getting new tubular Ridetech stuff. This link's getting a new link, new panhard bar. The springs are coming out, getting replaced with airbags, and it's getting Ridetech shocks. So this seems like the easiest part to start with, so that's where we're going. And just ran into the first problem. The bolt was put in with this. I'm gonna have to take that whole bracket completely loose. It bolts in from the back side. I'm gonna have to take that whole bracket completely loose to get that bolt out, to get that arm off. If I'm looking at it correctly. Might be able to just cut the bolt loose, I don't know. We got all new hardware. I'm at Wendell's place and I don't know where anything is. Woody. Windows up here, seeing what we're gonna do next. So we're kind of at a stopping point on the rear end. We got all the suspension stuff up underneath it, all the tubular stuff, panhard bar and everything. I bought Ridetech suspension and airbags, all the components to control all the air ride will be AccuAir. Well, between the two, I didn't get the right fitting for the bags to go in the back. So we're kind of at a stopping point on the back until I can get the right fittings to go in the bags before we can put everything up in. So we got everything, main part of it's all tightened up, panhard bar and the upper control arm is still loose until we get everything set up in there and bolted in and run the lines. So that's where we're at. New control arms, panhard bar, new shocks. Ooh, so we're kind of a stopping point back here. Went through several boxes of stuff, so making progress. So we're gonna move to the front, kill some time and see what kind of problems we run into up here. Hopefully, you know, it's still early enough in the day that we can make a little bit of progress and go from there. All right, so out here working on the Impala. Ridetech has some pretty beefy stuff, and we got a few modifications we got to do to a couple spots to get the lower control arm in, and also to put the Shockwave airbag in. We got to do some trimming on both sides of the frame and take off the bump stop. Let me show you what's going on. So this is where the original stabilizer went, and it was all set in rubber and everything. We had to open up this hole about maybe a 1/16 inch all the way around. I got to drill 3 3/8 holes in it, and it puts this in. Very cool, nice, beefy, spherical type bearing. Some big old bolts and everything. And this is what it will look like. This is on the other side. It's just sitting in there loose right now. But that takes place of the rubber and everything. This is where we will have to do some trimming. I have to take this off, and I got to, this is actually, the frame is actually up in here about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch in a couple spots. I have to clean that up all the way around there so the bag doesn't get caught up on anything. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. We got the upper A arm, got the lower control arm. Ridetech does really good instructions, but everything's individual. So like I had directions for the lower control arm, directions for the upper control arm, directions for the actual Shockwave shock, but there was nothing set up there, so depending on how you wanted to put it all together, that was what you had. So we got everything in, went to put the shock in. That's when I realized I had to do all the trimming and everything. So now I got to take the lower control off. No big deal, it's part of the deal. So I'm going to work on the other side tonight. It's cold as hell outside. Trying to get some of this stuff done so when Wendell's off work over the weekend, we can get rolling on it. And we made some pretty good progress over the weekend. So this is Wednesday. I'm going to try to get some stuff done. Had some more parts ordered. So this weekend we can get rolling on it again. All right, a little update on the car. Here in Kansas City, we have been struck with single digit to zero temperatures, snow, ice, everything else. Everything's been like anything you order, you know, you can't get it delivered or anything. I've had problems with Amazon and UPS both. Starting to get parts rolling in finally. So now I can get rolling on it again. We're out here in Wendell's barn. He does have a furnace, but it's still a little chilly. Come out here and give you a little run around, see what's going on, and then I'm going to start working on the car. I'm not going to bore you with all the drilling and running lines and everything tonight. But anyway, here we go. So as you can see, everything's all loose, but we got the brakes all kind of mounted up and playing around. Suspension is in place, airbags up in there, so I got to drop this airbag back out and drill a hole up in there. Show you on the other side. I got to drill a hole up in here, and we're going to run the line down into the frame a little bit, and then run it all the way back, and then we'll kick it out to where we're going to go up into the inside the car. I had to do a bunch of trimming. That was one thing I didn't like about that kit, and putting airbags on it, that I had to cut, I don't know, probably a good inch out of all that. We went back in and welded up, made it a little bit sturdier, cleaned it up, threw a little bit of rattle cam paint on there. But as you can see, that's all nice and beefy. Where the lower control arm comes in there. We got the sway bar dangling there until we get everything set in place. But 14-inch bare brakes. Hopefully it makes it stop quite a bit better, because the brakes on this thing sucked. Anyway, so like I said, that's all just kind of sitting in there loose for now. I'm gonna end up having to drop everything loose. Spindles are just finger tight on the casting nuts, so I gotta drop that shock back out and do all my thing, and then run some air lines. Did get the airbags and everything set up, so that's all in place. Right here is where it's going to come out. Have yet to figure out exactly where I'm going to go up into the floor for the tank and everything. Still waiting on the rear sway bar for the rear before we get serious about tightening everything up. So like I said, everything's loose back here too, other than those are just kind of sitting in there somewhat in place. So anyway, got to run air lines for back here, adjust the panhard bar, get the rear ends centered back up to where it's supposed to be. So we'll have to center back down on the ground and kind of line all that up. Rear brakes are coming. They're supposed to be here sometime middle of next week. Like I said, the way everything's been going, can't guarantee that. But like I said, so we're gonna run some air line. I'm gonna drill a couple holes and start running some lines. Got to
put all this side together. We're kind of using that side for a guinea pig, and then figure out exactly what we had to do for this side, so be a little bit less stressful and, you know, trial and error. So anyway, that's where we're at. Have a good night.